I'm on the struggle bus right now.
You really are, dog. I swear I always look schlumpy in these.
And I'm just like the hippie. You know what'd be fun?
What?
A Coraline video.
Stop.
Where we like, just like, it's like the Coraline music and it's just like really eerie and we just like, maybe like make a little door, like.
Bitch, I wish my hair was blue. You can be like my little Coraline friend.
Yeah.
We can put little buttons on your eyes.
We could do buttons, we can get like needles, I don't know. Welcome to the Dumb Bitch Podcast.
Right, we're dumb bitches who like to podcast.
Who like to talk about shit, who
Right.
keep their mouth closed. Last time we called it Ugly Bitch and Dumb Bitch.
We're just dumb host sluts.
We're
That's
Dougly
what
Ugly.
We're ugly ducklings.
We're dumb ugly bitches.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how
Bunnies.
pets in general, a lot of people from high school and in general seem to be really impulse buying pets right now.
It's terrible. I think it's like partially the pandemic because
Right.
I think during COVID everyone was lonely and they spent all of their time at home, so like obviously if you're doing nothing, you know, you have time to like take care of a pet and that's like, it sounds like a good idea. But now that everyone's back to work, people are just neglecting their pets
and trying to give them away on their Instagram stories.
It's just like not good. Like wow.
Oh my god, should we kiss?
Yes. That's gonna be the running thing in our
I know,
video.
we're just gonna keep saying should we kiss and I'm like, why don't they just kiss already? Like,
dude, you should kiss me the day I get married. And then you steal me from my husband. And then we just run away together.
I'm gonna believe when you say kiss and it's gonna look like you say you should just fuck me when I get married. I feel like I get people like when shit happens and shit hits a fan and they need to give away a pet, but like 90% of the time that isn't the deal. And yeah, people are just like, oh, pandemic, I'm lonely, I just want to get a bunny. And it's just like, and then 2 months later they're in this tiny cage and they're like, I want to give it away because it wants to be let out and it chews the trim and I didn't know anything about bunnies when I bought a bunny. And so it just pisses me off seeing people buying pets and then just trying to give them away because they don't fit a narrative that they want. They're an animal, they're not a human.
There's like so much you have to do to take care of animals, and this is like something that like really pissed me off last year because there's this one girl that we used to be friends with, or mainly me, but she, along with like pretty much everyone else, this wasn't even just a she thing, but like she was always like, I want to get a moon jellyfish, I want to get fucking iguana, I don't know, like all these random ass pets. And I'm like, dog, you know that like that would require so much work, it's not even funny. Like a turtle, like you have to make a pond in your backyard for the turtle to have like its best life, honestly. Because like otherwise, like you're gonna have them in tanks and you're gonna have to upsize the tanks, and then it could like the body of the turtle could outgrow the shell, but the shell won't. I don't know. It's just a lot. It's a lot.
And like for bunnies too, I feel like the bunny community isn't even progressive enough because there's still a lot of people who cage their rabbits, but I don't think rabbits should be caged at all, like ever. They're
basically like a cat or dog, and I feel like people need to phrase it that way. Like bunnies are like a cat or a dog because they hop around the house freely. They're not supposed to be in the cage. And honestly, it's not even just like a dog. It's like a puppy because you have to train every bunny.
Right.
Like,
yes, you
not
do.
to poop in your house and not to chew the trim, and you have to watch them. Like, I don't know. It's just like having a brand new cat or having a brand new dog. And if you're not ready for a puppy and you're not ready for a little cat, like you're not ready for a bunny.
Like bunnies are active. They're like up on your bed, they'll be up on your couch, they'll be up on your dining room table. Like, they're like a cat or something. So they need to be treated the same way. And I feel like so many people buy pets and they just like, literally people buying pets, they don't do exactly what they want them to do. They don't fit their narrative. And then they're like, oh my goodness, they're acting like an actual animal. I'm upset. And I didn't even do anything to train them. Right. And it just has been pissing me off lately because I feel like because of the pandemic so many people are doing it.
I feel like another thing is like I feel like people just aren't educated about pets a lot of the times because in general people can't even like treat a fish right. Like literally, like you go to the store, you see the betta fish in the little cups and people keep them in those cups forever, but in reality they need at least like maybe 3 or 5 gallons of water and 10 is like optimal. for them. They need a heater, they need a filter, and I'm pretty sure you have to cycle the tank first, which is a whole like process. And like, yeah, they're sturdy, hardy fish, but you don't just buy the fish and then put it in water in a small little cup and expect it to have a happy life.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, if people can't take care of a fish well, like, dude.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's mistreating their small animals, and it's not just small animals, it's like reptiles, all of that shit. And like, I wonder, like, I feel like there's a bunch of stuff with like dogs and cats that we don't even know.
Probably, honestly.
Like, these animals have so much like qualifications that you have to like meet. Like, what are we doing to our dogs? Like, we're feeding them dried up, like, nasty ass
like
food.
Meat, yeah.
Like, I bet that's like awful for them, and we should really be like cooking them full course like steak dinners.
I don't know if you've seen it, but some people do post TikToks of like what they feed their dogs, and it's like actual food that they're supposed to be fed.
Yeah.
And it's very different.
Yeah.
Another thing I feel like people do wrong with dogs is a kennel thing.
Yeah.
Like, they'll buy a kennel that they can just fit in and only lay down in, and then they'll keep them in there for hours, and I'm like, they can't even like stand up and do anything in there. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like people like learned a lot about cats and dogs, and they're like, let's just stop this here. Let's like treat other animals like shit because they want to be in cages. It's like, no.
And it's so dumb. It's like, why even buy the animal then? Get a dog, get a cat. You don't need a rabbit. It makes me mad because so many parents, I think another issue is the parents.
Yes.
They'll accept their kid getting a rabbit. They won't accept their kid getting a cat because it's a big responsibility. But a rabbit is just as big as a responsibility.
Yes,
like,
I agree.
You want like a low maintenance animal? Like, go and get a freaking caterpillar and raise that.
Yeah, get an insect.
Like, I don't know. Like, don't go out and buy a rabbit. Like, that is basically like having a cat or a dog. Some animals, a lot of the time, require a lot more than a cat or a dog. Like, if you look into the care of like what a chameleon needs, that shit's hard. Like, I'm pretty sure with females, you can't even touch them while they're like doing shit with their eggs. I don't know. I watched a video on it. It's very interesting.
I watched a video on chameleons.
Yeah. I wanted one at one time, but I didn't get one because it's a big responsibility.
Right. I agree that the parents can be a huge thing because you always see parents like, I want to buy my boy a bunny because he thinks it's cute. Also, apparently bunnies aren't allowed to be sold on Easter.
Yeah.
Because of how many people buy bunnies on Easter, mistreat them, and then want to return them when they realize that bunnies are actual work.
Well, that's the same thing that happens with like clownfish. When like Nemo came out, you couldn't buy clownfish, or like the dory fish.
Yeah.
The blue tangs. Yeah, you couldn't buy those fish because everyone was mistreating them because they're saltwater fish and they take a lot of care.
Yeah.
Like, and you have to have them in big ass tanks too.
Yeah.
Like, saltwater fish are a whole different thing.
But to have a day where you're banned from buying a pet just because of how many people mistreat that pet is just awful. I think bunnies are like, I was gonna say one of the number one pets, but like, yeah, like you see a lot of fish and like guinea pigs being mistreated as well.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say all small animals are just awfully treated. Like,
I feel like any pet, like turtles, I feel like turtles are the ones that are most mistreated because like people literally get them in Florida and they keep them in those tiny little things.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, my friend actually in high school, she has done an amazing job with her turtle, but we went on a beach trip, I think, when we were like minors. We were so young and so naive. We didn't know anything about anything, and she, random spur of the moment, she called her mom, asked her if she could get one of the turtles that they were selling. Which it's pretty much illegal in most states to sell them unless it's for educational purposes. And her mom said yes, and my friend got the turtle, didn't know what she was getting into. Luckily, she looked it up and they had the means to like actually be able to take care of that turtle, and the turtle's doing fine.
That's good.
But like, literally, turtles take so much work, and like, it's just... It's horrible because you'll go to a pet store and there's just like hella turtles and you can just buy them.
Yeah, they're like $20 and you're like, oh.
It's also weird because I feel like if you go to like an animal shelter or anything like that with dogs and cats, like they can be really specific about like the conditions that you have set up in order to get the dog or cat.
Yeah.
But like, you go to Petco And like you can literally just walk in and be like, yo, I want to buy a turtle today, and they'll be like, okay.
Same with the bunny. Same with the bunny. I had to do nothing. Like when we went to that exotic pet shop in Riversboro, they gave it to me without asking me anything.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
they didn't even mention anything to you at all.
No.
I feel like a lot of the times you'll go to a pet store and they'll be like, did you know that it needs this and this? Another thing I think is that a lot of boomers, I feel like the pet people are trying to sell them stuff and get them to spend more money that they don't actually need to spend. Because I don't know, I just feel like that's a thing that a lot of boomers do, is they think people are trying to like sell them too much, but it's like, dog.
Yeah, like they're trying to like rip them off.
But you like actually need to buy a lot for an animal.
I'm glad my mom is like obsessed with the rabbits and actually cares about them.
Right.
Because I feel like, yeah, like a lot of people's parents too, even after their kid will get a pet and then they don't care what they say, like when it comes to care or like stuff like that. But my mom was like, I believe rabbits should be free range, and like takes them outside every day and stuff. So
I think the thing is that really pisses me off about the parents. It's like, it's one thing if your kid is 18 or whatever, but if you allow your minor child to get an animal, I feel like if your child does not take care of that animal, it's then your responsibility to do that.
I agree.
Because your kid is literally a minor. Like, they're not capable of being completely an adult. So you have to like understand the fact that they're probably not going to take the best care of that animal, and that you're going to have to step in and help out. And if you're not willing to do that, then don't let your kid get a pet.
Right.
Like, I don't know, it's just so simple to just not buy an animal.
I agree. You don't have to do anything.
You really don't. And if you
avoid the
really
trouble.
want that animal, get the things that the animal needs to be taken care of. Like, that's just, it bothers me so much. And everyone's like, oh, well, the money. Well, then, like, save up for a while to get all of the stuff it needs. Like, literally, at one point, I wanted a crested gecko. I knew that all of the stuff that I needed, I couldn't afford. But if I saved up, like, $200, I could get, like, pretty much everything I needed. At least, I kind of calculated that. I don't know. Like, it was so long ago that I wanted one, but if you're not willing to save up for that animal for a little while, then why are you willing to take care of it for however long it's gonna live? I think people don't take lifespans into consideration either.
Oh, yeah.
Like, turtles, again, they live so long. And like, yeah, my guinea pigs right now, I forgot, honestly, the average lifespan, but they live for a good amount of years. And like, bunnies live for a while.
Oh yeah, my bunnies could have like another 10 years on them.
Like, you can't just get an animal and expect it to be like an animal that you have for a year and then just give it away. Like, these are lifetime commitments. So if you're not ready and willing to make a lifetime commitment to this animal, then you don't need to buy it. And that's okay. Not everyone has to have like a million different animals.
Yeah, you don't have to have a pet. Yeah, we'll move on to another topic in a second, but just closing this topic.
Yeah.
Like you said, take care of your pets. We're obviously really passionate about this because pets get mistreated, and like she said, they have emotions, thoughts, and feelings. And they live for 10 years. And so it's not like, I don't know, you wouldn't want someone to do that to you. You wouldn't want someone to do that to you and just get mistreated your whole life.
Just like, put yourself in the animal's shoes. For example, a rabbit. Would you really want to be enclosed in a room in your own pee and poop forever?
In a tiny room at that,
Yeah, like literally if you were stuck in this room forever and you were shitting and pissing on the floor
in like a corner,
and it was just adding up because your owner wasn't cleaning it, because a lot of people don't clean the cages correctly, and you were getting fed like shit that was bad for you, I don't know,
like
and you weren't getting fed enough, would be miserable. So don't do that to your animals, because they're living beings too.
This is kind of a different topic, but obviously we can talk about whatever the fuck we want, which is nice. So right now in this day and age, it seems like a trend to shit on people who are poor for consuming
fast
unethically.
Fashion.
Yes, consuming fast fashion or unethically when they can't afford what is ethical. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok do it, and I kind of ranted about it, and then people were trying to rant back at me. But it pisses me off because it's like, how are you getting mad at me for buying a $5 sweater off of Shein when Shein is a big company where the people are being shitty and I'm not being shitty for not being able to afford a $20 sweater?
Exactly, and that's what's really annoying to me is, there's always thrifting, But you also have to take into consideration where the people live. How many thrift stores are in their area? Is there anything cute at their thrift stores? And at the end of the day, like, me buying one $5 shirt is not gonna make as big of a difference as if the people who are doing fast fashion just stop being shitty. At the end of the day, another thing is that I'm pretty sure these big designer labels that are sustainable, they're hiking up the price to where no one can freaking afford anything from them. But they're literally like, I'm pretty sure Louis Vuitton like makes clothes. They cater to poor people, but they make it so unattainable that it's like, I don't know, it's like a thing. It's a thing. It's a whole thing, and it's messed up.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't really consider Plato's Closet thrifting because they'll take your clothes and buy them and then sell them for like the same price.
That's true.
Like I saw them selling like this old Hello Kitty shirt with like a stain on it for like $7 and like their shoes for like $30. They're selling like an $80 pair of jeans there. And I'm like, okay, but like the only thing that's close to my house is that Goodwill there. And there's never cute clothes there. Like if we only bought our clothes there, I would only be wearing like men's sweaters and like maybe like a pair of jeans and like some old raggedy shoes because they never have anything. They don't. Like anytime I go there, I never find anything.
Exactly. Like I've been to the thrift store. You go to our Goodwill and it's like we literally live in the South with a bunch of old people. We live in a town of like old people. If you go to our Goodwill, it's shirts with stains and like just regular, it's like plain clothes. Like you can't look cute. You can have like just a plain gray sweater and maybe a plain baggy pair of jeans with like a pair of Converse, but like...
Just a quick interjection though, but like even then it's like really hard to find like even like Converse at the Goodwill, because like if you go to Goodwill and you like are looking for something that's like designer or name brand, like you're most likely not gonna find that, especially like where we live.
You can't get all dressy.
Like, yeah, like I see some people who have really great thrift stores and they can get cute stuff. And if we had that and it had good prices, like, of course I'd want to buy my clothes there. But I go to Shein because there's nothing here. There's nothing in the area to do. Like, our Plato's Closet is awful, our Goodwill is awful. And then, yeah, to get anything else that might be quality, you have to drive out of the city.
Sorry, last interjection, but also, like, our Goodwill did not have good prices. Like, I was already talking about the Plato's Closet, but, like, I would go to our Goodwill and, like, they would have a sweater and it'd be like legit $20. Like sweaters, shirts, $20, $15, and I'm like, that's like 3 times the price that Shein is for something that's new and not used. So it's like, of course, like poor people are driven to then do fast fashion, which by the way, there's other places that are fast fashion, not just Shein, like for instance, like Forever 21, Charlotte Russe, places like that. But anyways, but like, yeah, our Goodwill had bad prices. So it's like, of course, like as someone who doesn't have money, I'm not going to shop at Goodwill if it's expensive.
The fact that like people were shitting, I think I even took the video down because I was just like, it's not worth it. But yeah, the fact that people were shitting on me for like buying from Shein, and I was just like,
and also I feel like you have to take into consideration a level of like, so you're telling poor people that they have to wear clothes that other people have already worn before, while rich people can go out and buy like $5,000 like shirts that they're gonna wear once and never again. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, I don't know. I just know a lot of people who feel very uncomfortable wearing used shoes that they don't know where they've been, or wearing used underwear or bikinis.
Right.
And like, if you're in a situation where you have to do that, like, that's one thing, but like, I don't know. It's just like, not every poor person should have to wear clothes that are already used.
Right.
Like, because they're poor.
That's unfair to say to us. And like, yeah, it is like them just telling us like, hey, poor people, you're not allowed to have cute clothes.
Yeah, you can either buy designer clothes that are way too expensive, or you can buy from Goodwill. Yeah. But otherwise, we're just gonna shit on you, even though we really should be shitting on the big corporations that aren't treating their workers well.
Right.
Like, instead of directing your hate towards the consumer who is buying stuff, sometimes unknowingly, put that into the big corporations, because they're the one at the end of the day who are making the mistakes and doing the wrong things. Like, it's not the people buying stuff. Like, if she stopped buying from Shein, Shein would still be doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And if I stop buying from Shein, at the end of the day, we can either all get together and try to get everyone who's buying fast fashion, which is a big majority of the world, to stop buying fast fashion, and then eventually, after we all band together and stop buying fast fashion, they'll just stop, which I doubt would ever happen. Or we can call a little cancel culture moment on some of these brands like Shein and be like, yo, you're unethical, here's why.
Yeah.
Seriously, last interjection, but I do want to say that it does sound like a bit like we're defending Shein, and I want to say that we're still very much against fast fashion, but we're just coming at the standpoint that, like, instead of, like, crapping on poor people who consume the clothes because they have nothing else, crap on the big corporations that are actually doing the bad stuff.
If we shit on the brands, it's gonna get us a lot further than trying to get everyone in the world to stop buying fast fashion.
Right. And I think another thing is, it's like a lot of people just say it about Shein because I feel like that's all that they know. But it's like, it is really every company. Apple does labor in China because it's cheaper. Forever 21 does, Charlotte Russe does, like all these.
Every store that's like in the mall, it's literally like either like designer or like brands that are specifically sustainable, which you literally have to buy online at that point. So yeah, you're gonna get your $200 shirt,
right,
plus your like however many dollars of shipping and handling and tax,
right,
and all of that. And by the time it gets to you, it's like $300 for like a plain shirt.
Or you like go to the mall, you buy $200 worth of clothes, which is like 4 things. You're still contributing to fast fashion. They're still having children work in China. They're paying for that labor because they can get it so cheap. These companies do not give a fuck. And it's not just Shein. Shein is just like open about it almost.
And also fashion. Okay, let's talk about the food industry. Are you gonna stop buying from Starbucks, or not Starbucks? Are you gonna stop buying from McDonald's because they pay their workers minimum wage? If you're not, you really don't have anything. You really have no place to say anything to like people who are buying fast fashion. I worked at a fast food restaurant where they treated us like shit, paid us I can't speak today.
I can't speak either. I'm starting to jumble over my words.
But no, they literally paid us minimum wage. I actually never got paid from this company in general. Okay, they would scream at us and yell at us and curse at us. I literally had a friend who worked there for a while, and she was 16. The 40-year-old manager called her a bitch. I had a friend who worked there for 1 day and quit because it was so bad working there. But you don't see people calling out that company because they treat their workers bad. You don't see people not buying from fast food because of how they treat their workers.
Right.
No, you see people gatekeeping what poor people can and can't wear because it's not sustainable.
Right.
Let's talk about sustainability. Let's talk about ethics of brands. Most brands are not ethical. How about we start calling out those brands instead of the people who are going and buying from those brands?
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It's like, you're right, it is like so picky and choosy about this and this, but it really is like, there's terrible working conditions for like all these people, and yet you choose to shit on a poor person for doing Shein. We are not the enemy. And they're acting like we are. Like, on TikTok, people will like, someone will say, fuck you for buying from Shein, and it'll get like 100,000 likes, and I'm like, we're not the enemy. We're not. Like,
we're not the ones who are doing this to our workers. We're not the ones who are making clothes that are, or like, producing this mass like factory of shit that's gonna like ruin the environment or whatever. Like, we are literally going to the store and buying something that we think is cute. That is what we are doing.
Right. And I'm not saying like I'm against thrifting and being sustainable. Like, obviously I want that kind of life. I love having plants. I love caring about things, and like every now and then I do thrift, and if I do find something cute, obviously I do buy it. But it's so rare, and like you have to like so seek it out, and it's
so time consuming too. Like, you literally have to look through everything on the rack.
Yeah,
like
just to find nothing. Like, I would go home like empty-handed, and I was like, well, now I just wasted an hour of my time that I could have been used for something else. You just, like I said, we're not the culprit. And I don't know, I just feel like TikTok kind of is in that culture right now, which is weird, where they, like, it is a popular thing to shit on people for buying Shein, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, only seems like Shein too. Like, no one is like, fuck you, you have an iPhone.
And pretty much everyone has an iPhone, so
I know.
It's just like, it's really, really weird. I don't know. I just feel like people just need to calm down and like think about, is it more beneficial to hate on people who might not even know what they're doing, or is it more beneficial to hate on the people who literally know what they're doing, choose to continue fucking up the environment, choose to continue treating their workers well when they know their workers are living in poverty, that's who we should be getting mad at.
Right.
And I don't know how many times I'm about to reiterate that. But
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
what we keep
true.
saying.
And also, let's talk about, like, sometimes there's specific items that you need. Like, for example, if I need work pants, it'd be very hard to find at Goodwill.
That's true. You're
Because
right.
if I'm going to find work pants, like, we have a huge section of jeans at our Goodwill, but it's literally just jeans. And then we do have, like, a section, like, of slacks and stuff, but then you also have to add, like, there's not that many of them there. I know, I've gone to this Goodwill plenty of times. You have to bet on the fact that one is gonna fit you, and also that you're gonna find it cute. Or, you know, I'm just gonna have to settle for something I don't feel confident in because I'm poor.
Yeah, fuck you for being poor.
Exactly.
Or like you said, like if you need new underwear, you have to go and buy used underwear. I just don't feel comfortable doing that. I really don't.
And a lot of people I know don't feel comfortable buying used shoes or buying used, like, bathing suits. Like, what
Especially
are you
during COVID, you know?
Exactly.
Like, I don't want to buy used underwear during a pandemic.
Exactly. And, like, I remember, like, when the whole pandemic started, I was kind of, like, wary to go into thrift stores in general because those clothes have been worn so many times. I don't know if they wash them when they get them, but considering the stains, I feel like they don't.
Yeah, I don't think so
And
either.
like, so many people touch those clothes all the time, and people are trying them on. Their try-on rooms or their changing rooms are not closed right now. And yeah, like, during a pandemic, it kind of makes sense why people would not want to be buying like used underwear, used regular clothes. I'm not saying that if you are in a situation where that is literally all that you can buy, that is a bad thing for you. That's not what I'm trying to say. But for people who can afford to get Shein, like, they don't want to go out and buy used clothes sometimes.
Yeah, like if I see a cute shirt that I want and I can only afford it off of Shein, I shouldn't be forced to go and find, like, I mean, I just shouldn't be forced to buy clothes I don't want.
Exactly.
You know? Or like clothes I can't afford.
It's clearly like a lot of people just shitting on poor people because they can, and we found a way to find clothes that are cute for like dirt cheap.
Right.
And like, I know some people are just like naive to the fact that like it's really the big corporation's fault, but still, it's just like, stop shitting on people.
But yeah, that was just a really annoying experience, and yeah, I agree, like, we should shit on the big company and not the little person. But yeah, I want that to become more aware to other people that, like, you can't shit on someone for buying from Shein if they just want cute clothes and stuff like that.
Exactly.
You know? And even like if they're buying a lot too. Like you bought $300 on Shein, you can buy $300 somewhere else. No, $300 on Shein gets you a whole new wardrobe. $300 anywhere else gets you like 2 articles of clothing.
Exactly.
So I guess we talked for like 40 minutes again.
Yeah.
We can do this forever.
Well, I know. We can literally just talk about all the topics in the world.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the color blue, Abby?
It's not my favorite. I'm sorry.
I like certain shades of blue sometimes, but like other shades of blue are not my favorite. And I also feel like some shades of blue are kind of tacky, like turquoise.
Yeah.
Do you think teal is green or do you think it's blue?
And with that, we're gonna have to end the podcast.
Right.
It feels like green to me. Yeah, today we talked about consuming ethically and pets. Last week we talked about James Charles and YouTuber drama. If you want to go check that one out.
We really went ham on like a bunch of different topics.
We were like,
that.
fuck them. But if we do one next week though, maybe we'll do like something like funny, like just a little bit more lighthearted. But
yeah, or we could talk about religion.
Oh, I forgot that we need to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna have one of that. I feel like we should do that one while you're still here though.
Yeah, that's true.
That one's gonna be a long one.
That one's probably gonna be like an hour. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching on Cheeky Queen. This is Life Up, and have a good breakfast. Goodbye.
Goodbye, ugly bitches.